Hello and welcome back to Friday Minis. Strings. These are something that we kind of take for granted in our day-to-day programming. We just sort of use them and they work as we expect. But as it turns out, they are slightly more complex than they seem. Today, let's delve a little bit deeper into what strings actually are under the hood and what needs to happen to, well, let you see and manipulate them. First and foremost, as you can imagine, a string isn't a simple data structure. Even though it looks like it, really there are quite a lot of things going on there. I mean, for one, a string isn't one thing, right? A string is a combination of characters, and it can be a large number of characters. This alone should clue you into the fact that, well, it's a little bit more complex. It has to be made up of smaller parts. As it turns out, that is essentially what a string is. A string is a combination of multiple characters, and in fact, under the hood, it has to be expressed as an array. That's right, in fact, a string is an array of characters, and lower level languages like C require you to express a string in that manner. What this means is manipulating a string is no longer as easy as, well, how we would do it in places like JavaScript or Python. If you wanted to display a string, essentially you had to loop through it character by character and display each one of those characters on screen. If you wanted to even copy, a string from one variable to another, you would have to, well, allocate the relevant arrays. That is, you would have to set aside sufficient memory for each one, and then using a loop, copy the individual characters over one by one. Thankfully, even in the days of C, tools were available to help you manipulate strings. However, you still had to think of it as an array of characters. So even though functions like string length, string compare, string copy, these existed, well, you still had to make sure that you have the relevant amount of memory set aside. You can pass that to the function and the function will do the rest for you. For things like string compare, there still is a loop under the hood that is visiting the characters one by one and comparing them. If you've been exclusively using high-level languages like Python or JavaScript, this may be something that you've never given much thought to. But as it turns out, yeah, it's there. We don't really care too much about it. In fact, we generally take it for granted most of the time. But there is quite a lot of complexity going on under the hood. That's all there is for this episode of Friday Minis. I hope you've gained some insight today. But until next time, you're watching 0612 TV with NERDfirst.net. Thank you very much for watching. If you like my work and are feeling generous, you can shoot me a one-time donation on PayPal or sign up for a recurring one on Patreon. Of course, you can simply like, comment, and subscribe. You know the deal. For more videos, links to my channel and a related playlist are on screen. Thank you for your support.